Hey everyone, it's Kim from the Cortés Chili Company. In this video, what we're going to do is teach you a little bit about grinding peppers, and that is to say chile pods, and that's chile with an E, not chili with an I. And we're going to grind up some arbol peppers today. I've gone to the local store to get some from the ethnic food section. They're dried, and that is exactly what we want because we want to create a powder from these chile pods. There's going to be some advice in there and some talks about how to use them, and talk about the equipment that I use. What you're not going to see in this video is the commercial kitchen or the dried pods that come from the different growers that I get supplies from. This is stuff you can do yourself, and stuff that I encourage you to try yourself because it always makes your food taste better when you're working with ingredients that you have that you've prepared yourself. Now, I know that sounds weird when you pick up dehydrated chilies from the grocery store, but when you grind them, you're releasing essential oils that are going to revitalize the powder that comes out as a result. So, without any further ado, watch this video and be sure to watch the next few series of videos as we do more with what we've ground today and eventually end up making some chile con carne, okay? So until next time, I will talk to you later. This is Kimberly Andrews, and happy chili games. May the pods be ever in your flavor. Alright, welcome to chili grinding. I'm Kim. Hi. I don't heart toxic waste, but I love chilies. Today we're going to be grinding up some arbol chilies. We're going to be using the kind that you get at the store. They come in these bags. They're dried. There's lots of seeds. We're going to go ahead and take these seeds out. We're going to chop these up and grind them up in the spice grinder. So this is a bit of an operation. So we're going to set the spice grinder aside for a moment. We're going to go ahead and open these up. So what do we want to do? We want to go ahead and chop these up, but we want to chop them up in such a way that the seeds don't end up in here. We don't want seeds in here because seeds make your chili grinds bitter. So what we're going to do is we're going to do some preliminary cutting. We're going to go ahead and cut off the stems. We're going to cut down the length of the pepper as much as possible. This isn't always easy to do when it's dry, but you see how all the seeds come out, right? Get all those seeds out, and then we're just going to slice these up. And then we're just going to keep this up. Going to chop off one end, open it up a little bit. On some of these ones that are really curved, you have to kind of really work at it to get some of the seeds out. So you have to slice it really gingerly, like that. You notice that I've got a nice long cut here. We're just chopping those up. Let's go with some easy to work with ones to start off with. You get that piece, it didn't get quite in there. Cut off the end of that. And don't worry about making your cuts neat. Really, all the goal of this is just to get the seeds out. Because what's going to happen is when you put these in here, it doesn't matter how clean these cuts are. These particles are going to end up really, really, really small. For those of you who aren't used to doing this, you might want to wear something over your mouth. I recommend something along these lines. If I can find it. Something like this is not a bad idea, just to cover your mouth. because these get really, really, really potent. I'm used to this, so I'm not going to do it, but what I want you to see is how many pods we've got here and how few grindings we get out of just a few pods. If you do end up with some seeds, it's not the end of the world. Just go ahead and let them get in there. What you don't want is a plate full of seeds. You don't want this thing just completely full. Actually, I'm going to change this to here because you can see when you look in here just how full or not full that actually is, right? So that doesn't really fill it up. Imagine what it's going to be like when the grinds are even smaller. So you've got to go through a lot of peppers. And you know, sometimes I'm just leaving them whole and tossing them in there. That's okay. It helps the grinder. Now, I don't know about you. I use Árbol in just about everything. We are going to make some chili con carne from this. And that's using the American pronunciation. They usually just call it chili con. I don't know why. It just means chili with. I don't know exactly what that's about, but what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and do this with this set of peppers, and I'm off camera. I'm going to do another set of peppers, and we're going to go ahead and grind all of those up to make our chili powder, and I'll show you that process after I've got my other chilies ground. Another thing you might want to bear in mind, these may be dry, but these have oils on them. They have essential oils. In fact, if you look really, really close, you can see my skin has picked up some oil from these pods. So whatever you need to do to be safe, you want to make sure that you wear gloves if you need to. But if you do use your bare hands, wash them very, very, very thoroughly. I have a special mix of soap and things that I use to wash to help get the capsicum out, because the oils in these skins of these are just as potent as they were in the meat. Because essentially the skins are the flesh of the pod. I think Árbols are terrific for this because they're not a super spicy chile, but they're not a very mild chile either. They're a good balance between the two. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and do this whole plate. And what we're going to do is when we get all the when this is full, I'm going to grind it down. And I'm going to show you, you saw how many was on the plate before, as far as the amount of pods and how much it looked like we had to work with. But what you're going to find is that it's not really the case, because they're, again, going to grind up really, really fine. And I'll talk about my grinder here in a moment, because this is very, very important. Okay. This is a piece of rib. This is flesh from the inside of the pod that is dehydrated. And you can see how flat it is, but you can see the difference in color. That's actually a good thing, because Árbol, usually when you grind it up, Árbol becomes a very bright grind, kind of a bright orange. I'll show you what I mean when we're done. All right, that's good enough. Before you do the next thing, always wash your hands. We're going to talk about spice grinders here in just a second. I'm going to put this back on. But I'm going to move this stuff out of the way, and I'm going to clean up my mess. Because this stuff, if left to sit, you can see there's some powder here and there. It will sink into the surface of your formica here, or whatever this is. Unless you have marble, you're going to have this issue. So marble, corian, or some other surface that's not really as porous as white countertop is. So we want to go ahead and wipe this down. And I've got the trash can over here on the end, so I'm just going to take this over there. And what we'll do is we'll disinfect that with bleach a little bit later, just to make sure that we get everything. Now, I mentioned this before. I am going to put this on because we are going to be effectively creating some toxic gas powders here, in the sense that they're going to become airborne very, very quickly if we're not careful. So get this fitted, get this on your nose, get this down over your chin. If you wear glasses, put them back on so you can see what you're doing. Now this grinder, I love this grinder. This is a Hamilton Beach custom grind deluxe, and the reason I like it, number one, you saw that the grinding cup actually comes out, so when you clean this, you can actually run this through the dishwasher or hand wash it completely and not have to worry about getting the electrics wet or shorted out. So you just go ahead and pop it back in there, snap. There, I made a mess again. Pop this back on, it locks down. Now you've got controls on this one. You've got, this is a coffee grinder, but you get the idea of how fine some of the grinds can get, from percolators to drips to espresso, and how long the grind period takes. Now, because I'm going to kind of start in the middle, I'm going to set this to about 8 seconds. I'm going to put it to drip, just to see how fine that grinds. And then this one, when I pull this out, it's stuck. Oh no, Mr. Bill. There we go. I think that's it. Okay. We'll go ahead and plug that in. Make sure we're still set to 8. Filter. I'm just going to put my hand on top of here. And let it go. Very important, let this sit. This has got to sit. If you do not let this sit, you're going to open this up and you're going to get a mouthful of essentially pepper spray in your face, because this is like mace at this point. But what I'm going to do, I am going to show you just how finely that got ground. Now, I want mine to be a little bit finer than that, so I'm going to run it on the same setting one more time. So let's go ahead and do that. Now you can see how little that produced, but you can also see what kind of color it has. It's kind of got this reddish, orangish, pinkish color going on, and it's really, really pretty. So I'm gonna go ahead and bump this up to espresso. Actually, I'm gonna bump it up beyond espresso to the finest grind. See, these circles get smaller. And I'm gonna run it for 12 seconds just to let this grind even finer. You can see if you were watching with me that this is getting to the point where it's almost talcum powder, and I don't want to get it too much farther than that. Now, I'm wearing a face mask, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to take this, tap it out, unscrew this. Notice how little is actually left in the chamber. That's very easy to clean up. In the meantime, notice the color of this and how really awesomely fine it is, as well as the brightness of the color. And like I said, this face mask is really helping, so I don't get maced. Yes, it's a little. You see those little chunks? Those are going to fall right out. And what I'll usually do if I think it got too fine is I'll chop up one more. If I think that's gotten too fine in there, I'll chop up one more and just put it in there to agitate what's in here. Now I've got my arbol, some arbol already chopped up here. I'm going to actually mix this in with that just to season it up. You notice the different texture on the grind here? The grind is actually very different. Let me turn that so you can see a little better. This is where things get interesting. Notice that this is not going to pour smoothly into here. So here's what I usually do. I'll grab a napkin and I'll pour this out onto the napkin. Make sure I get all that. I will tip that up. Make sure that the tip goes way in there. And I'll just start gently shaking it to get all the chile powder inside there. Now you're going to have a little bit of loss, and that's okay. This is a napkin that has perforations and stuff in it. But you can see how much that actually means. It doesn't look like a lot in here. It doesn't look like a lot in here, but once you get it in here, it's a big deal. So I'm going to go ahead and lid that up. Give that a good shake. Mix the old with the new. Why would I do that? Why would I mix the old with the new? I am mixing the old with the new because the old stuff hadn't lost its flavor just because it was sitting in the cabinet for a while. Believe it or not, the essential oils that are in here will last up to 3 to 6 months. I've found with potency. Depending on what you're going to do with this, you may want to have the freshest stuff available. If you're going to be making chili that day that you want everything to be fresh, you see what an operation this is. Imagine what this would take to if you were doing multiple types of things like grinding up cumin, grinding up different pods, and putting all that in here and making up a mix that actually makes chili powder, and that's chili with an I, that you would use to make fresh homemade chili. Granted, that only took us a short amount of time, but that was just one set of pods, and not all set of pods are the same. They all look different, and they all have different requirements as far as how long they're going to take to come apart, get the seeds out, be ground, and whatnot. One more thing about this grinder. This is a hard plastic and it washes the oils right out. I use Blue Dawn soap to do this with because I find its ability to get grease out works very well when it comes to getting the oils from capsaicin out. This is a metal bowl that is removable and you can get just about everything out of it. So I'm going to go ahead and get this stuff out of here and try and put some more in there and be done with it. Now I'm going to go wash all of those, and that's going to be it for this particular video. We're going to do some more videos this week, and I hope you'll stay tuned. I'm going to make another grind of a different chili, I'm not sure which, and we're going to go ahead and make a very small batch of chili con carne with ground beef, and we're going to do that over here, and we're going to use the chilies that we've ground. We'll go ahead and take a couple of different approaches to that. I'm going to show you the standard approach that most of people use when it comes to making chili these days, and then we're going to revisit some older recipes from times gone by, and then come up with our own. So until next time, I'll talk to you later. Happy chili games, and may the pods be ever in your flavor.